Hi there. It's a beautiful evening in Mountain View, and I just grabbed a bite to eat at a very nice Mediterranean place. I can't get enough of this place. It has such delicious locally grown produce and foods. It's just delicious, absolutely yummy. But anyway, I wanted to record a video um, in honor of my twin flame, or my karmic twin flame. I still didn't figure this one out because we're no longer in contact. I cut off that connection about 2 months ago by establishing my clear boundary. I finally realized that that's what I needed to do in this particular relationship. But I want to tell you a little bit the story about how this whole relationship was evolving. So remember, as I was going through my turmoil figuring out my relationship with my now ex-husband, so that's when I met my special person. I keep calling him special person because the minute I started talking to him, I knew that this person would change my life, and that's exactly what happened. So since I got attracted to him instantly on so many levels, on emotional level, on spiritual level, on intellectual level, on sexual level, I remember telling him that I never felt like this before, that I even described it in my own words, like, if I was a, how did I say that? It was kind of cute. I think I said if I was a guitar with 7 strings, he stroked the guitar and he hit all 7 strings, and that's exactly, now I understand what happened. He was able to awaken my Kundalini energy. That's what I now understand. At that time I didn't understand what was going on. So he was waking me up to my true essence, to my pure source energy. That's how it's supposed to be. So what was happening is that as I was figuring out my relationship, he was actually giving me great advice on thinking, actually suggesting that I could save my marriage and giving me some advice and suggestions. And then that was the time when we cut off the interaction, and I was trying to save my marriage, and then I figured out it wasn't savable, and so we would reconnect, I think every 6 months or so. It was on and off, and so that's how that connection was going. And I remember during those rough times, he was actually the one lifting me up. He was always giving me words of encouragement and just loving telling me loving things about me, how beautiful I was, how special I was, how rare I was. It's just absolutely amazing person during those conversations. And then when he would abruptly switch his behavior and kind of dump me in the way of communicating, I was just heartbroken. It was just pure hell. I couldn't understand why he would do such a thing. He would just stop communicating, and I was in such pain. I couldn't understand why would he do such a thing after telling me all those beautiful things. Well, now I understand what was going on. At least that's how I'm explaining to myself. If this person is truly my twin flame or karmic twin flame, just look it up on internet. It'll explain exactly what this relationship is. This is pretty much a person who is the same core print. The soul print is the same, and they're your perfect mirror. They're triggering in you all that needs to be purged in order for your true essence to start shining. So what he was triggering in me is the abandonment wound. Remember, I told you I grew up without a father, and my whole life I was waiting for my father to come. And the way the story was presented to me, my mom was just telling me that, your father works abroad, and he was visiting me here and there, maybe 1 year, then every other year. And I never questioned this. I just took this story as it is, and I just knew, I have a father and he works abroad. Nobody ever told me the simple truth is that my father was never coming to me. He actually had another family. He lived in Bulgaria. He had a wife. He had 2 children. And so up until I was, I think, 17 or 18, I lived with this story in my mind that, you know, my father, he's working abroad and I'm just waiting for him to come and visit me. And then what happened when I was about, I think, 17 or 18, my grandmother, just out of nowhere, I think I was just saying something about my father, and she said, "Don't you know? He's married. He has another family." And that was a pure shock to me. It was so painful to hear that. I did not expect that. I just, you know, I believed in that story that was fed to me, that, you know, my father is working, he comes and visits, he's just busy working. And so when that truth came out, I was in complete shock. I remember the trauma that it caused in me, that pain, the inner pain that it caused me. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that now that when I go back to my relationship with my special person, my twin flame or my karmic twin flame, every time he would dump me, he would stop the connection, he was triggering this core wound of abandonment. I was longing for him. When he would cut it off, I was longing for him and reaching out to him and writing to him and begging him to write me back, and he would just ignore me. And I was just, it was a pure torture. And then what finally happened is that I realized that it's telling me something about myself. Why am I longing for him so bad? What is going on? What is the dynamic of this relationship? And as it progressed, because it's been over 5 years, on and off, I accidentally came across somewhere, you know, a post on Instagram talking about twin flames, and it kind of sparked my interest because I didn't even know what this was all about. And then as I started reading it, again, the light bulb came on in my brain. I realized that that's what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing this twin flame relationship. This relationship is for me to fall in love deeply with my own self. That's what it is about. He is my perfect mirror, triggering the deepest unhealed parts of me that needed love and attention. Of course, at that time I didn't know that, and it was pure hell. I was so tortured by this because I just couldn't understand why one day he's loving and kind and just, you know, generous and writes the most beautiful words to me, and then the other day he just flips it 365 degrees and it's complete cold-hearted jerk. So this dynamic is very painful until you understand that it is only about you and you only, that you have to go inward and figure out why are you so much longing for this person and what is it that you have to give to yourself. And that was for me to start giving that love to those parts that were longing for him. So in this sense, you know, when I was fearing him, that he abandoned me, my lesson was to learn how to let go of that, not to feel that I need an external event or person to make me feel complete. So there was that hole, the hole in me longing to be filled, and I was trying to fill it using him. And so then I finally went inward, and Cassidy, the Twinflame 1111 website, really helped me to get to that place, because Cassidy is like no one else. She is able to help you reach a higher vibration in this relationship dynamic. I started following her email distribution list, and then I bought some healing sessions. And during those healing sessions, I actually learned how to move out of the 3D, three-dimensional experience of life into the 5D relationship dynamic. And that's when I was able to realize that I'm never separate from him. He's just teaching me, and he's having his own human experience, and I was able to actually move him into my heart space without attachment. But it wasn't quite there yet. So I'll tell you in the next video how I was able to move from that, having him in my heart, but still didn't let him go quite yet. Just wanted to give credit to this twin flame relationship, because it's a beautiful gift if you understand what it's doing to you. Blessings.